Good morning. I am a co-Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, and I'm here at the intersection of Junius and Livonia Avenue where the number 2 line runs, and I'm joined by my colleagues, Jesse Hamilton, New York State Senator Jesse Hamilton, who represents this district, Assemblywoman Latrice Walker, Rebecca, who's represented campaign manager for Riders Alliance. Thank you, Rebecca. Lisa Kenner, president of Van Dyke Tennis Association, who will be joining us as well. Mary Scarborough, president of the Brownsville. Mary Scarborough, president of the Brownsville Houses Tenant Association, and Dan Murphy, executive director of the Petition Avenue bid. We're here in unison with one voice. Brownsville should not be treated differently than the Upper East Side of Manhattan. To think that in one of the most economically strong communities, the Upper East Side of Manhattan has a free transfer, yet in Brownsville, where the economic challenges exist, do not have a free transfer on this line. We fought hard, the Assemblywoman, the state senator, and I fought hard to get a free connector here in this community between the number 2 and L train. It took years. Finally, the MTA agreed to the free connection, but they're telling the Brownsville residents that they have to wait until 2018 before they have a free transfer. They use as an argument that 50% of the riders have an unlimited pass. What they fail to understand, that means 50% of the riders don't have an unlimited pass and they have to pay 2 fares. This is unacceptable. The second thing they state is that MTA does not provide free transfers between stations. That is a flat out lie. This is not April 1st when you have April Fool's jokes. It's clearly unacceptable that we could have free transfers in certain parts of the city and not have it here in Brownsville. Brownsville is not a second-class community, and they should not be treated as such. And we're calling on the MTA to immediately allow a free transfer from this station. Representing this area for so many years, our Assemblywoman, and we're going to bring the Assemblywoman to have a few comments at this time.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I want to start by saying thank you to Borough President Eric Adams for always having the forethought to keep Brownsville first and foremost on his mind. This is a situation where members of the community have been calling out for many, many years, requesting that there is a free transfer at this train station between these 2 train lines. Being in Albany, where we see billions of dollars moving through the MTA's hands for train lines, connections, and capital improvements across our city. One of the things that we recognize is that Brownsville has been on the back burner for too long. But until today we are standing together in unison with community members, with stakeholders, with train riders, saying that now is the time for us to make the investments in our train infrastructure so that this is no longer economic blight on our community. The reason why many of the riders may have unlimited passes is because they recognize that without that, it's the most cost-effective means by which to get from point A to point B. Perhaps they don't need to do that. Perhaps it's economic waste. Perhaps that's money coming out of the pockets of families who are barely struggling to get by, to pay their rent, and to feed their families. So we're calling on the MTA today to stand up on behalf of those families. Allow them to do what is necessary for them to take care of the needs of their community, of their children, of their families, and go ahead and fund this free connection today and not in 2018. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Well said. And this is a low-hanging fruit that the MTA can do to put money back in the pockets of everyday members of the Brownsville community. Next, we're going to call on Rebecca from the campaign managers from the Riders Alliance. Rebecca?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm campaign manager at the Riders Alliance. I first want to thank the Borough President for taking leadership on this really important issue. Thank the Assemblywoman for standing up for low-income riders. And that's the real issue today. The MTA needs to change its policy on free walking transfers between stations that are this close. The only people that are hurt are the people that need this free transfer the most, the people who can't afford monthly Metro cards. It's money that the MTA should not be getting. And so we're really excited today to be launching this petition to request a free transfer between Livonia and Junius to the L and the 3. And we encourage everybody to go to ridersny.org/free transfer to sign it online. Again, this free transfer is so important. Low-income riders already suffer from increased fares, and it's not fair that riders should be suffering because they can't afford a monthly Metro card, because they can't afford to shell out that money. So again, I want to thank the Borough President and the Assemblywoman for taking leadership on this issue.
Train go by. Thank you. And it's about economics as we continue to bring economics here to Brownsville, and no one knows it better than the executive director of the bid in this community, Dan Murphy. Dan?
Thank you. I'll make this short. I just want to thank the Borough President so much and the Assemblywoman for understanding and acting, because transportation is such an important issue for this community, for all communities. Access to transportation, equal access, is an economic boon for the residents of this community, and the Borough President understands this, and the Assemblywoman understands this, and I appreciate their support. To have a two-fare zone where there are two major train lines in an dense urban area is an economic bigotry, plain and simple. One that can be cured very easily by the MTA. This does not happen in Midtown Manhattan. Eric Adams is absolutely right. It should not happen here. If you have the New York City subway system is amazing because it is a one-fare system. Someone from Brownsville can get to Midtown Manhattan with one fare. It should not be two fares. It is an economic hardship that should not be perpetrated on the people around this neighborhood. If you look around, there is density here. There are people from all sorts of incomes, but they are working people who live in this neighborhood, who rely on this subway system. They shop here. They need to spend their money here and not on another fare for a subway train. Thank you very much, Eric Adams and Latrice Walker. Appreciate it. Please shop Pitkin Avenue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. We will open, if there's any questions, we're going to be handing out flyers at this station, calling on people to sign a petition online or here to really send a clear message that we should not have a dual transit system. One transit system, one rule, and Brownsville should not be treated any differently than the most economically sound part of the city. Should not be treated differently here in Brownsville. The days of treating Brownsville residents as second-class riders are over. We're open to any questions on this topic.
This seems almost like a no-brainer. The lines are so close. You would think that this would have been addressed sooner.
No, so true. And the MTA has really been disingenuous around this conversation. When we first spoke to them, they said it was not possible. Then they put it in that they were going to do it. And now to wait until 2018, when you already have systems and lines where people have free transfers. It makes no sense that those who are doing extremely well financially will have free transfer, and those who are struggling will have to pay 2 fares. When you do the math, over $2.75 a day multiplied by 20 days, business days, that is an awful lot of money that people can be providing for their families for those basic necessities.